Hi everyone. Today we're going to work on a little mushroom made of polymer clay. For my subscribers, I think there's quite a few of them that want to see some polymer clay stuff. So this, I did it flat on one side so that you can still use it with scrapbooking, but you're going to want to use a really strong glue. So let's get started. There's a few things that we need, not a lot. You're going to want like a toothpick, a strong one. I haven't ever used the flat ones, but that probably could work. I don't know. So some toothpicks, some clay. You're going to want, I use the Primo translucent. So you're going to want translucent. And you're going to want a flesh color. And I had the Primo kind. It's, what color is it? I don't know. Not sure. Flesh color. This one's made in Germany. So, but you can use Sculpey. You can use Sculpey translucent and Sculpey flesh color. And then because my clay sits around and gets old, it gets crumbly. You're gonna want the Mold Maker by Sculpey. This, for the little bit you get, it costs, you know, a nice chunk, but you use so very little that it's a polymer clay conditioner too, that it's real slippery. It's real soft and slippery. So it kind of moistens your dried out clay. So you add very little to it to make it movable and pliable. Of course, the more you warm it up, the more it's going to move and it's going to get more and more slippery, which can cause problems in certain things, but not this one. This one, it doesn't. So what you do is you get your translucent, after you've conditioned it and warmed it up and got it pliable and moving and added your little conditioner to it, you are going to get it moving, and I warm it up. Sometimes I get a heat pad. I put it underneath my hiney in a baggie and put the heat pad on top of it, sit on it, and it gets it nice and warm. That way I don't have to, you know, use my fingers and that so much. And then what you're going to do is you're going to roll it into a snake. Remember making snakes as a little kid? And you make it into a snake like that, and you get your cutting tool. Some people have a long blade. I have that, but I don't know where it is right now. So I'm just going to use like my little tool I use for paper stuff. Just a little knife. You can just use a razor blade or something. And make a log. Make it kind of short. About, you know, like a... oh gee, I don't know. How can I determine? Maybe half the size of a pencil. You know, like that. And then cut it into little logs like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to flip it over and flatten it out. Like a circle. Flip it over. It's like a log, and just flatten it out. This one might be too little. Not sure. Flip it over. Flatten it out. Yeah, that one's just a little bit too small. So we're going to throw that back in the scrap pile. So here's two of them. Take your toothpick and cut it in half. I get it started Make sure you don't get your fingers in there. Get it started with my scissors, and then I just snap it in half. So then I got 2 mushrooms going. You need a paintbrush. Mine's got a little bit of stuff on it. It was stiff. I loosened it up. You have this tool. You need your embossing gun. And you take your cutting tool, your knife, X-Acto knife, and do 1 line across like that. I use the back side that's dull, so it doesn't cut. It makes a line. Cut that in half, and then cut that in half, and then cut that in half. Make a line in half there, line in half there, and wherever you think you might need some lines, because the underside of a mushroom has valleys and lines in there, and it's kind of white clear underneath. Take your toothpick and the not the pointy side but the cut side, and push it in the center. Take your X-Acto knife and lift it up off the surface, and then I push it down in just a little bit to give me a little something to attach to. So it kind of looks like a wagon wheel. A little bit of a wagon wheel. You can see that. A little bit of a wagon wheel. You can see the cut. See the cuts up underneath there. So do that. Let's do another one. It's kind of like cutting pie, but use your dull end so then it makes a more indentation, not so much of a cut. So you don't really want to cut through, then you got problems. Make a line in half of that and half of that. Now kind of like cutting pie or pizza, whichever you prefer. I like pie more than I like pizza. This must be my sweet tooth in me. I mean, of course, I have more candy laying there. And there's that. Take your cut end of your toothpick, push it all the way through, lift it up, push it down on just a little bit. So then you have your two wagon wheels, but be careful because they're still soft. So to harden them up just a little bit so that we can work on them, like I did this one's hardened, and this one's hardened. You're gonna want to move all your clay out of the way that you don't want, you still want to work with, because the embossing gun hardens this, its heat like the oven. To finish these off, we'll do them in the oven, but we're not quite there yet. So because this is translucent, when you do these, you get them close to each other so they have the same amount of heat. So lay them on your table kind of close to each other. Careful they don't wander away if you have a crooked table like I do. Get them close enough, but don't let them touch because they will come together and they will stay together. Unless you want it that way. It's a little hard to work that way. They're translucent, so when you hit them with the embossing gun, they're gonna get clearer. Once they get clearer, then, as you can see, these are more clear than those are. Well, maybe you can't see that on camera. But it'll get shiny, and they will become clear. So let's do that. And it's maybe 3 minutes, something like that, for this to happen. So I'm going to have you turn down your volume because this is going to be kind of loud. Ready? Close enough. Close enough to heat them up, but not close enough to burn. Flip them. That way the other side gets the same amount. Probably light enough, warm enough. Leave them there to cool, but we're on video right now, so we're just gonna skip to the next guys. So what you need is some to do the top and the stem. So you need 2 balls of clay. Make your snake. You can either twist it around and smooth it out, or you can just run it right through. Like that. And then cover it up. And I try to see how there's a space. See how there's like a little space right there? I don't know if you see. Yeah, there's a little space right there. See that? Well, you're going to want to take your paintbrush and push it up. Use your fingers, whatever you need to do that with. Tip it upside down, and I like to try and get some of the flesh down onto the white part of the mushroom, so then it kind of sticks together a little bit better. And smooth out with your fingers. On the bottom, as you can see with this one, there's like a pedestal that comes out like that. So what I do is I take the top and I push it down between my fingers like that, and then you have your little pedestal that you can pinch out. And if it doesn't look exactly perfect, that's okay, because mushrooms are, you know, kind of odd. They're all different shapes and whatnot. Do some smoothing with your, see how that smooths right out with your brush? That way your fingernail marks, you get rid of your fingernail marks like that real easy. So just kind of smooth everything down like that. Look, it's starting to look like a mushroom already, isn't it? See that? So then take a little bit of your flesh color and make a ball, because you have to have some depth for your depth is not some fatty, I guess, on your mushroom, some kind of peak on your mushroom, so that you know, it has kind of a mountain to it. See that? And then you're going to want to, of course, take another ball of your clay that you conditioned. Make a ball and flatten it. Flatten it out really good. And then kind of peel it up like that. And you put your mushroom cap on your mushroom. Cover it up like a blanket. Your little ball that you did up there. Smooth it out with your fingers. And every one you do is going to be different. I mean, they're going to be similar to a certain point, but it should all be different. I do morale ones too, and those are a whole another technique, but they're still fun. I don't know. You'll have to let me know whether you like my polymer clay videos. I don't know if I'm giving enough information or too much information. So, there's a mushroom. Kind of. What we're missing is the bumps in the color. And we need to fire all the mushrooms at once in the oven yet. So I'm going to get out all my fingernail marks, because fingernail marks don't belong on mushrooms for sure. And then what we'll do to make the dark color and the bumps is use the embossing tool and actually burn the clay. So to do that, you get really super close with your heat embossing tool. And so I think I might make some of these and sell them. I'm not sure. And then see, you can do that, make it round all the way around, but I think I might want to use this on for my paper crafting. So I think I want one side to lay flat. So what I'll do is I'll see which side do I like the best. I think I like that side best. I got one little spot though I want to smooth. Okay, so then I'll smush it down like that, so then it's flat on one side. Flattened. Okay, so then what you do is you turn on your embossing tool and you get really super close. Don't burn your fingers. Heat it up far away at first for about, I don't know, about a minute, half a minute maybe. And then you can lay it down and get super close. Once you start seeing it burn, pull back. It'll turn brown real quick, and that's when you need to pull away. If you don't, then you're going to just have one charcoal mushroom. So, sometimes you might, you might have to try it, but as soon as you see it turn that color, back off. That's the best tip I can give you. Get everything else out of the way. So, not real close. You can start seeing it get shiny. Once it starts getting shiny, that means it's curing. And you can smell it too. You shouldn't breathe it in, but I have plenty of ventilation. I have a fan going. So then I'm going to come in real close. See? There's even a little bit of smoke. So come in real close. See it change color? Back away. That's even probably too much. I'm going to get way down here at the bottom because this other I can carve off. So, there we go. It's pretty hot, so don't touch it with your fingers. And sometimes when it's hot like that, if you do touch it with something else, you can make a mark. So just kind of be careful. As you can see, it looks like a mushroom, right? This dark part here, I will shave off with my knife. And then fill in with my clay, and then I will fire it because I just want the brown down along here. I mean, if you like it like that, hey, there you go, leave it that way, but I don't. So once it cools, I'll show you. You can carve away a little bit at this until you get it into the oven and cure it for at about 200 for about 20 minutes. Shut the oven off, let the oven cool completely, and then pull them out and ta-da! If you are going to use it for your scrapbooking, as a scrapbooking item, I suggest you cut this point off. You can use these in floral arrangements. Those would be perfect to go down into the foam. A little bit of glue, down into the foam. Ta-da! You have your mushroom. So, this is cooled. So then, what I'm going to do... Yeah, it's plenty cooled. I'm going to use my X-Acto knife and just whittle away a little bit of this darker color. You have to be very careful that you don't pop your little cap off. So, and that's basically, you know, that's the basics of this little booger. Careful not to cut yourself either. That's a trick all on its own. Well, any comments or questions are greatly appreciated. Remember, it's 200 degrees for 20 minutes. Shut the oven off, let it cool completely, then pull it out. So I can, even now, this with the embossing gun is warm, and I know that it's not cured completely. I can easily break it. So you go from this to this to this. Thanks for watching. Bye.